the man, the myth, the legend, Deonte Cooley. He finds time for many, many things. He's on numerous boards. He has multiple jobs. He has 8 kids. He finds a way to lift up the local youth and adults alike.
I love it. That is awesome.
Um, DeonteCooley.biz. All the comms are gone. All right. Hey, Vibers, welcome back into the vault. I'm Nick.
I'm Julie.
And you've noticed that we've upgraded a little bit of our equipment, which is kind of cool. We're excited to share that. Deonte gets to be the first joiner on our podcast with our new setup here. So we're very excited to have him. This is Deonte Cooley. I met him through being on the executive board at Erie Dawn together. He and I both came on the board at the same time, actually. Almost 2 years ago now, which is crazy. Yeah. I can't believe it's been
that's
2 years.
Not something I knew. That's very cool. This is how you know each other.
Is how, that's amazing. So we talk about community and things like that, and that's something that he and I both share is being on the community to help women that are facing I know homelessness. We don't use that term anymore.
Unhoused,
right?
Unhoused,
right?
Unhoused.
Helping out unhoused women find new shelters and find good places, and a lot of times they come from situations that are hard situations, abuse or sometimes different things pop up and stuff like that. So it's a great organization. It's something that both Deonte and I find to be very important and like supporting. So I brought you on not only because of that, because I know that you're a community oriented guy and you like to help out the community and stuff, but gosh, you're like so involved with like a million things. I know Julie and I, Julie was sitting in there with you. Goes, why do you think Nick brought you on?
I think I counted 18 lives that you're living all at once. Like I feel like after we started speaking, it just like my mouth started dropping further and further to my chest. I feel like at this point I'm a slacker and you're a young man. You're a young man who has all of these things going. Can you get us to the point where you are now? I mean, what is it like? We're going to backtrack, of course, but what is it that you do for the community? Because that's amazing. And just give us a little sense of what you're doing at this point.
What's interesting is I always have a difficult time answering that question because like I tell people all the time, like I do a lot of nothing, but I do it all over the place. You know what I mean? Because like I just like I make connections. I help other people reach out to me and ask me for help or they have needs. Or if I see a need within a community, like I'm a solution-based person. So if somebody, for instance, somebody's in an unhoused community, and throughout my years of experience of working, I know about, community shelter services. I know about the EUMA. I know about different organizations, and I make connections with people to where I just like to look at myself like a bridge. I make connections with people, bridge gaps, and just assist people with whatever it is that they need. So it's not really, I guess, one thing that I can say that I do specifically because I'm willing to do just about anything. You know what I mean? And then because like I'm a firm believer in helping people and I'm not afraid to ask for help. And I wouldn't ask somebody to help me do something that I wouldn't do for somebody else. And with like having the way my family is set up, like I'm going to need a lot of help. So I just extend myself to different populations of people.
What are you employed doing though? You're bridging people.
Specific. So I work. So right now I'm currently employed at Mercyhurst University. I'm an assistant director of the community engagement department.
It's amazing.
Okay. Yeah. So at Mercyhurst, where I pretty much consider ambassadors of service. So everybody who works at Mercyhurst or attends Mercyhurst, we're doing service work throughout the community as much as we can. So we have 67 different partners within the Erie community that are nonprofit or for-profit organizations, and they all based on like doing work within the community. So what I do is pretty much I meet with the directors or different people who organize events. They may need some students to come assist with some service. We've done group tours on campus to kind of like expose Mercyhurst University to the Erie community because even before I got the job there, like, there's a lot of stigmas and a lot of stereotypes about Mercyhurst
Mm-hmm.
University and Erie.
Sure.
So I wasn't really too educated on a lot of the things that they did do.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I had to interview, because you can read a job description and anybody can make a job description, but
Right.
as I'm having an interview and they're telling me some of the things that they do, I'm like, this is what I do for fun.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
You've always been doing this, right?
Yeah, like when I get off work, I try to, when I was working prior to at the prison, like when I got off work, I'm on my phone, lunch break, I'm on my phone because you can't have a phone in the jail, like answering phone calls on Facebook, responding to messages. I get off work, I'm like helping people with their kids or running different classes, helping people set up businesses, resumes, cover letters, stuff like that.
So is this what you're doing with the students at Mercyhurst? You're helping build an outreach for the students to work with the community.
Absolutely, yes, and
Okay.
vice versa. So
Okay.
the goal is to get the students familiar with the Erie area and to assist different organizations with the help that they need, and then vice versa to get the Erie community onto the Mercyhurst campus to kind of understand some of the things that we do there and how we can kind of take advantage of
Wow.
one another and build.
What
Because
amazing support for the community this is. Like you're putting
Yeah.
the right people in contact with the right people. That's amazing.
So basically what you're doing is you're putting the outreach out there because like you said, you didn't know these things they did. So basically your whole job is now to show other people what they're doing, which is kind of cool. That's really cool. I think it's awesome. I know we go to like our meetings and stuff like that, and I know you've made a connection with
Sister Carol Ann,
Carol Ann, and I, so you have this big guy, who worked in a prison before, and then you have this woman who's about 4'8", and she's like 83 years old or whatever, and you guys have made a bond, which I think is really cool.
That's nice.
Yes.
Right. So what did you do at the prison?
So at the prison, I worked in the drug and alcohol program. It's a therapeutic community, which is pretty much a cognitive behavioral like program to where you teach people about their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, and their actions. So I was a drug and alcohol counselor in the program. I worked there for 7.5 years.
Wow.
As a drug and alcohol counselor.
Okay.
So individual.
So
sessions.
you saw a lot of things and did and helped a lot of people.
Absolutely.
So do you sort of keep tabs on some of the people that you helped over the years? Like to see what they've done with their lives afterwards?
Yeah, actually, I mean, because of how active I am on Facebook, you know what I mean? A lot of people, they'll reach out to me. They send me updates. Some people, hey, because of you, like the people will tell me certain things that I've said because I have a lot of quotes. I just be throwing stuff out there. And it's things that people will like inbox me who were incarcerated. Like, hey, I remember when you said X, Y, and Z and it changed my life. I got
that's
this
really
many
cool.
years clean. I mean, and then there's also been times where people have reached out to me like, hey, I'm glad you're not working in prison anymore. I need some help. I'm getting ready to use. I don't know what to do. And it's been times where literally on Facebook, I've talked people either out of using or I've talked people into admitting their use to either their counselor or their sponsor to get the help that they need. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I tell people like, I'm not going to turn you away as long as you're alive and you're breathing. Like I can help you. Because a lot of people are a little nervous. They're a little ashamed when they relapse or if they're thinking about using and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Well, and you were saying before we went on, you were talking about how you have done podcasts before and that you have a big social presence on Facebook. And you started to explain that. And I said, wait, we got to get this on.
Yeah, we want to talk about this on air.
I would like you to finish that. And I'm sorry for the interruption, but I loved what you were saying.
No, it's all good. So yeah, I did a podcast. I had a podcast running. It was called The Social Experiment. And what I was doing was I was interviewing different men in the Erie community, different Black men. I was very intentional and specific with what I did, like in the Erie community who are doing good work. Because what I've come to realize as I've developed into a man, like the people who do good work are modest people. They're not really speaking about it. A lot of people are like, God's gonna bless me later.
Absolutely.
I'm not doing it for recognition.
Right.
And me, I'm the complete opposite. Like if I'm doing good deeds and good works, like I want to share it. I want people to know. And not to big myself up, but to encourage other people. I feel like we live in a 100%, very trendy.
So I want to know something. Why is ego so bad, and why is being, in a spotlight so bad for people? Like it's been demonized when we're supposed to be, explaining to people how to move forward with their lives. How do you do that? By being quiet.
Exactly.
And you're out there helping people and you want to draw people in. It's not because you want the fame and fortune, obviously, but you want to help people find that pathway for themselves.
Absolutely.
How do you do that? By being quiet. Really, you're the first one who's said it out loud that I've talked to personally. And I can't agree with you more. you know.
Yeah. And then like my rationale, when people, oh yeah, no, like I'm quiet. I really don't want any recognition. I tell people like, well, the dope man is encouraging my son. You know what I mean? You go on social media, you know, people are talking
Absolutely,
about
right.
selling drugs. People are talking about killing, womenizing, just all kind of crazy stuff. And you see it regularly. So there are guys who in the world will be like, here, you want to make some money. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
And my
Right,
kids,
right.
my nieces, nephews, and family members, they're seeing this regularly. But then the man who is doing the good work is quiet about it. So we live in a society today where social media runs the world.
And why can't you make yourself look flashy and fun while you're spreading good news? You
I
know,
mean, I don't know. I guess over time it was always
Right.
like, dude, that's not what you do. You do it because you have a good heart and you don't really want any recognition. So even if I feed 10 homeless people, I will share that I fed 10 homeless people because
that's right.
I know
Right.
we live in a competitive society. So it's like,
Right.
if you don't like what I'm doing, then do better. So if
Yeah.
you want me to shut up, then feed 15 homeless people.
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
like he
Or
thinks
do something.
People have the opportunity, right? Exactly. So you're showing what you're doing because you could sit there, right, and you could sit there and not do anything, and you could either not have a page online or not post or things like that. And so no, and that's one thing that I think when you and I met, we connected on social media, and that was something that I see that you are constantly uplifting people. You're sharing the goodness that you're doing. I see that you've made the transition to like Mercyhurst, but here's the thing. I mean, you have a job with Mercyhurst University, and you're doing all that with them and all the good with them. But that doesn't limit you to what you're doing. And so you've stayed in touch with people that were incarcerated when you worked at the prison. You've joined boards. You've done all these other things. You've lost a bunch of weight in the last few years.
Yeah.
You work out quite a bit. I know here basically, like we look at Deonte's list here, and it just makes me feel worse and worse about myself.
No, it should make you feel really good because
no, but that's, and I guess that's the point. Is it should make me feel worse, but I look at what you do, and it is inspiring, and that was one of the things that when we sit together and I try to find people to come on the show. Most of the time it's someone that either Julie or I know, from our life, but it's someone that we want to share. And
I'm just curious though. You gotta share this, okay? Your personal life. You act like you don't. You said you do a lot of nothing everywhere. I listen.
Do a lot of nothing.
That's
everywhere.
not true. It's not true. And then you go home to a lot of stuff. Tell me what's going on.
So I mean, yeah, I'm a father of 8. I'm a father of 8.
But you have to pause and let everyone soak that in.
I'm a father of.
Yeah, I'm a father of 8. Yeah, but my son, my oldest son, is the only one who lives with me. So okay. I see him every day, and then I have 5 other children in one house. I have a 19-year-old daughter who's off to college, and then I have another daughter who's she lives with her mother. So it's always something going on. I really don't put too much of that on social media. You know what I mean?
Because no, but you do, like your daughter and stuff. Like when she started school and everything, you're proud. You're proud of your children.
Absolutely.
They're thriving, and that's something to be proud of.
Yeah,
and I think that's huge. I mean, you obviously it seems like you're pretty involved in their lives. It's something that, and we talked a little bit before the show about, when you got to this place in life, you sort of left behind some of the people that you grew up with and the area. So tell us a little bit about, what your childhood and where you came from.
Yeah. So I was, so my mother, single mother, so I was raised by my single mother, but my grandfather played a very huge role in my life. But
That's awesome.
My mom, my youngest brother is 7 years younger than me. Okay. My mom had him, and then she pretty much like went back to work. Like, so it was like she worked to take care of the household, but I was pretty much babysitting my little brother. So like throughout the time, I feel like I was a young father at that time. So, you're young, you feel like you're an adult, you get older. So, running the streets a little bit, just hanging with people who consider themselves to be thugs, you know what I mean? Different people who were womenizing, selling drugs and stuff like that. And it was, that was influential to me. I seen it. I wanted to be a part of it. I liked it. But I also knew that my grandfather would never, ever allow that for me. He would never let me go down that path. So it was just kind of like
Was he still in the picture when you were thinking about being on that path? Like,
Absolutely.
he was?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He passed away when I was 22 years old.
Wow.
Okay, so he was in your formidable years. He was around for
Absolutely.
it. Okay,
absolutely.
And
So,
you probably credit him being around for being some of the reason that you didn't go down some of those paths. That
absolutely,
you're saying. Yeah.
absolutely. My grandfather's very honorable man. He taught me a lot of different life lessons. One thing he always told me, I always stick by, and I share this often. And I know it comes from the Bible, but I give my grandfather, like, he told me, a man who doesn't work shouldn't eat.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I like to eat. You know what I mean? I like to eat. So I feel like
No
I always
meat
gotta
though,
be
right?
No meat. I've been
no.
vegan for 5 years. Yeah.
Oh.
Another thing we add to his
I'm not
list,
sure how I
he
feel
doesn't
about
make
that.
his life easy, but so did you ever subtract things off of your list, or do you just keep adding?
Honestly, no, I keep adding stuff like I just made that 40 under 40 thing.
Yeah, and I was going to pump you up about that too.
I want to hear that.
Yeah.
Explain that to us.
Honestly, I asked people to not put my name in there.
Why?
Oh, really? You didn't really want to be in there?
I didn't. And the reason why I didn't want to is because...
but you just got done saying that you need to be vocal
absolutely,
about...
Absolutely. But the reason why is because at one point, to me, it seemed like people were like... It was a popularity contest. People were soliciting.
Sure, I can see that.
Pick me. So... No, people were reaching out to me. Hey, have you made it 40? And I'm like, yeah, no, I didn't, but I don't want to because somebody else needs it or somebody else wants it. I can big myself up.
Especially if you look across the other 39 and you're thinking, okay, what was the purpose for them like wanting to be in this? Was it because they wanted to further their business, mode, or is like what was the reason for that? I agree.
I don't even know. So like people nominate you though, so they just
okay. So you were nominated by someone.
Yeah,
so
and
that's cool.
The person who nominated me was one person that I literally had a conversation with in detail. Like I didn't
wanting to be.
Yeah, and she was like, "That's why I did it because you deserve to." So
well, that's really awesome. I look at that 40 under 40, and not that I'm hurt because I am 41 now and I didn't make it.
What is 40 under 40? Can someone explain?
Erie Reader. It's an independent newspaper in Erie that they put around. It's a community based newspaper. They talk about things in Erie and kind of uplift Erie, entertainment things surrounding Erie. And do you know the history of how long they've done the 40 and 40?
I'm not sure. I think it's been like this is like maybe the 14th or 15th
14 year, or 15 years.
So they just acknowledge or recognize 40 people in Erie who are under the age of 40 who are doing different things.
Who stand out.
Yeah, business.
So does it bother you that it took you 14 years to get on the list?
No. I mean, I really...
Why do you always go there? It's like he asked a couple British people
on their toes.
He asked a couple British people if it bothered them that they were celebrating 4th of July.
Yeah, because she was like, no, our gift to America is, or our gift to the world is we've given so many countries their Independence Days.
So he's asking Deonte.
And then I asked Deonte.
Deonte's like...
I just said that I wasn't on it. And I, I'm actually going to work on one that's called the 50 under 50. So I have 9 years to get on there.
Can we do under 60 for me?
Under 60, right?
For me?
Well, and I think what's cool about that, and what Julie and I are doing, we're sort of doing something, I guess, in a similar vein, is we're putting a spotlight on people in the Erie community, and we're putting a spotlight on people that a lot of people know what you're doing, but not everyone does,
right.
And maybe in certain communities, some people know what you're doing, but in another community they might not, or whatever. So we want to share the goodness of people in the Erie area. So
I love that you're helping youngsters find connections to our community. You're keeping them here.
Yeah,
they're getting educated here, so you're keeping these people with the talents and the education here. Speaking of which, tell us about your education. You went and you got your degree.
I graduated from Central High School in 2004. Then I went off to Clarion University. So I played football. I played high school football my freshman year and senior year. And then my senior year, the reason why I ended up going to college, and I share this often too, is my old football coach, Coach DePaulo, God rest his soul, he encouraged me. It's because he told me the expectation in our house was all you have to do is get your high school diploma. You're good. You're an adult. Go to work. That's what my mom said. If you get your high school diploma, I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. I was in all honors classes in high school. I'm a very smart person. So my coach was like, listen, you're a waste. That would be a waste. You're going to college. I didn't even fill out an application. He did everything for me.
And he's the smart person.
Yeah.
He wanted
to do that. He did the same thing that you're doing now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Deonte, you're doing the same thing that this influential person in your life did. You're doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
So I love this.
Absolutely.
Right. So you had coaches, you had grandfather, you had other people.
And then I grew up in the Erie community, so I pretty much attended almost all the community centers.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, the community centers in the city, they meant a lot to us. Like they had the pool. I
Sure.
learned how to swim just from going to the Booker T. Washington Center and the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
So there were different men who had an influence and an impact on my life that kind of encouraged me.
I wonder if you were there when I was there, because I was at the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
John Popoff was down there when it was on, was that 9th Street? Yeah, we used to go down there all the time. I remember because we used to walk from my grandparents' house to go down there.
Yeah, because it was over by Gannon, basically.
Yeah. So I mean, I learned from a lot of different people within the community.
Do you remember Jake?
I'm not
Jake
sure.
there or no?
I'm not sure. I don't know who that is.
He was good. He was a good person there. Yeah. So
I think what's really cool is just showing what you've done with yourself. I mean, you weren't given, a lot of things other than the fact that you had loving family around you and people that cared about you. And, you could have gone down some of those paths. So you said kind of growing up then, you felt like you sort of grew up early because you had a younger sibling who you're kind of helping raise and you weren't going down those paths. So you said, a lot of people, you just kind of shed them from your life. Is that?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's like, I just watched, you know what I mean? So when people were going to do stuff that they had no business doing, I wouldn't go.
Right.
I would watch. And then when they finished, they would come tell me about it. And like, I was entertaining them, a young mom, but then I also knew my grandfather didn't play that. My mom didn't play that.
Right.
And I was not going to disappoint those two people no matter what.
Right. And also too, you had some intuition of where that would lead them. You kind of like, okay, well, I know what you guys are going to do.
You've seen that path. And this is going to be where they ended up.
And this is going to be something that I'm going to end up getting my butt in a sling for if I go.
Absolutely. And I'm an antsy person, so I can't go to jail. I can't sit still. Yeah. I don't want somebody telling me what to do. So it's like, hey, you got to make the good decisions for yourself, because if not, then somebody will be making the decisions for you. And that's the last thing that I need is anybody telling me.
You know what? I like that. I like that. That's absolutely true of anybody who, if you're going to aspire to do your very best, there's not going to be anybody holding you back and telling you what to do in any capacity.
Right.
So.
I think you're onto something with the prison thing. I know just randomly, like I would never want to be in prison.
Right.
And, and like you said, you don't want to be in prison, and I think that it's all about finding a reason to stay out of prison. I mean, and it's as simple as that sometimes, right? I mean,
and it's not just
not do things that may end up. I mean, it's simple and it seems so easy, but I think some people, their lives, they feel like they're so worthless that they don't care.
Right.
Well,
and that might be some of the things.
To piggyback on that, it's like our prisons can be not just a prison. You can be going to work in a place that is not meant for you. You could be settling. And I don't mean settle to the point where you're in prison.
Right.
How about settle? Like, I'm not going to settle for this job that isn't me. I'm not going to settle for these friends that aren't me. I'm not going to settle for my life being not mine. And I don't care what prison you call it. It's a prison when you're living someplace that you shouldn't be living because it's not you. So I love that you're getting these kids connected to something that's going to be on their journey, and you're getting the community. You're giving back to the community in so many layers of ways. So
absolutely. And I told them I took that job selfishly to help Erie, because with them having so many different students and them sending students within the Erie community, like before I got there, it was a lot of, nursing homes. They would go to nursing homes or the VA or just different organizations outside. Of course, they would go to the community centers, because if you don't know how to help people or where to help them at, the easiest resources to go to the community center.
Right.
And with the expectation and hope that those people in the community center are going to tell us where we need to go. But it doesn't work. The community centers don't work today like they used to. So then when I did get the job, I found I was reaching out to individuals who do this kind of work in smaller pockets, who need assistance, who need students to help with social media advertising, or need a group of students to move stuff from one side of the room to the other, or donations and stuff like that. So we've been reaching out to a lot of different other smaller agencies who are up and coming grassroots organizations that are trying to build a name for themselves, to kind of like offer them assistance, because there are a lot of people who do a lot of similar work and they don't even know about one another.
Wow. Yeah.
To where, like, let's say if he's doing work and you're doing, if you're serving 10 people and you're serving 10 people, y'all doing similar work but do not know, and then I come into play and I'm like, hey, you guys should meet, and you can serve 20 and you can serve 20 because
Yeah.
exchange information,
Yeah.
as opposed to he's on the east side, you're on the west side. And it's
Sure. Yeah.
I'm doing all of this and I'm trying to help as many people
Such
as I
a
can.
cultural divide between west and east side.
No,
too.
literally, it really
No,
is.
there's
Like,
not.
I'm
No,
learning.
it's there's a divide. There really is.
Yeah.
And it was probably I mean, I know in Erie High School, it's like, they put everyone together in one pot, and I know it's been a lot.
So you're also a realtor, and so how you enjoying that right now post pandemic when things are still?
So honestly, I got my real estate license during the pandemic.
Oh,
so
my.
So you don't know anything else. Okay.
Everything happening right now is normal for me. You know what I mean? And in real estate, like I didn't get into real estate to like try to make a lot of money. So my mom bought a house at the age of 54.
Nice.
But the thing is in our community, African American community, a lot of people look at that as intimidating or look at it as impossible. People
100%.
want to pay rent forever. So when my mom went through the process and how easy it was, I'm like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to help people, and then also I figured I could make enough commission to earn enough money to get a house for free.
Sure.
That was a goal as well, but like
a house for free.
Yeah, I mean, based off work, but
good way of looking at it. Yeah,
I mean, really,
absolutely.
That's
it's
the
a
way
side
it has
hustle,
to work.
Yeah,
I mean, because you privy to information. Meet some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got the real estate license to assist people. Like I've literally talked people out of selling their homes, in Erie, like because. Again, a lot of people don't understand like how valuable the asset is, and when it was a seller's market and people were jacking prices, I had people who were like, "Oh, but I can probably sell this house and make
you're like
$70,000."
You're like,
and
hold,
I'm like, listen,
hold.
Right, 70,000 sounds nice at a lump sum right now, but if you think 5, 10, 15, 20 years from
what's
now,
200,000 or whatever?
Yeah, because when you go to buy the house, it's going to be more expensive, and the rates are nowhere near what you're paying on your house presently.
Yeah, well, I just told a couple the other day, they closed on their first home, and they're like early mid 30s, but they're like, oh, it's so hard to write that check for 13 or 14,000, and I said, yeah, but look, you'll never have to write that check again, because next time you sell your house, hopefully you'll make some equity, you'll have money to put to the next house and everything like that. So really it's just once you hop on that carousel, you get in that game, you have that equity, and generational wealth is a huge thing too. Absolutely. I know. So that's huge. I mean, I've worked with, people, that's something that I do, as I work with people that maybe don't normally get, the homes and stuff, and make it easier on the financing side. So, like Julie and I said, we came on here to recruit Deonte. I need loans from Deonte.
Is just a ruse.
Julie's trying to recruit him to go to her
all
company.
This equipment was just for you, Deonte. Like everything is just a setup.
And then she's trying to get the people that he helped counsel to go to hypnotherapy to get rid of the substances. Right? There's always a reason.
That's the way the world works.
It's like our other guest. They said everything is sales. It is right. Everything is sales.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, I'm super stoked you were able to find time in your ginormous busy schedule to come here.
Right. Yeah. Do you have like 5 other things today?
Actually, they do the women's flag football league.
I saw that. You got involved in that. Yeah, a little bit.
So a friend of mine is running. I've been assisting him with just small things though. He's pretty much got it all managed. Sure. But sometimes you need to bounce ideas off somebody.
100%.
So I try to support him however I can.
That's
and just
fun.
Being a presence there. You know what I mean? I feel like my presence I've come to terms with the fact that my presence is important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that you need to keep that the complete persona of being an attention grabber for the good things. Like they just love it. And you said it perfectly. Why not brag? Honestly, that's what we're supposed to be doing. This is called outreach, and this is called service.
Absolutely.
And you walk around real quiet and meek, you're not doing much good.
Right.
So
right. This guy posts pictures of himself
every day
in the gym without a shirt on every day.
And what's crazy though about that is, so a lot of people have reached out to me like, "Oh, you're doing too much."
Oh, I bet a lot of people reached out to you. Okay.
But I'm like, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna chill. But then on the flip side, there are people who have reached out to me who I don't even know. Like,
motivation.
Listen, you're inspiring me. Yeah, I've been following your journey. I remember because I used to weigh I was 297 at my heaviest.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now I'm 220. So, you know,
That's
it's
awesome.
people who knew me like as a bigger version. Like, yo, I've been following your journey. I love it. Like, you motivate me every day. So, like, now I'll post
How do
every
you
day.
feel, though? You've got to be feeling better. Like, the inflammation's got to be going down.
Oh, yeah.
You got to feel like the aches and pains are starting to subside. Or
I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life.
That's really cool.
I'm in the best shape of my life.
That's awesome. I like hearing that. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Do you train while you do this? Are you training people?
No, I don't train people because when I go to the gym and work, I just work out.
It's you.
I'm super set.
It's your time.
That's probably one of the only times you have to yourself.
Yeah, I don't be like,
oh, yeah, do this
right, do that rep and count shit. I really don't want to do all of that. Yeah. So
just go do it.
Well,
that's what you're trying to
post some, post on your internet, post some stats for how, for some suggestions or whatever. So if you don't follow him on Facebook. He's a great follow. A lot of motivation, a lot of good stuff.
I'm gonna have to do this.
Deonte
I don't
Cooley,
think I am. Okay.
There it is.
There you go.
We'll take that one.
You're like, are you just on Facebook? Are you on Instagram or anything too?
It's connected to Instagram, so it just goes to Instagram. But I'm not too Instagram.
You don't do anything specific.
Yeah, the students are like, "Oh, your Instagram looks like old man up there."
I know. We all get to a certain age, and it's like we know what we know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you. I'm a couple years older than you, but my Facebook is still set up to my old college years.
Yeah. My Twitter is, but I had to change my Facebook because I can get in because it was locked up.
Oh, sure.
But I walked out of my Twitter or X because of that. Like, it's still my at
we don't call
edu.
We still call it Twitter. Yeah,
EDU. Really, Clarion was a party school. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did some partying,
Clarion,
but Clarion, because of where it was, and because
Cooley at PARTY.
My mindset was
it's
completely different.
Sorry, it's PARTAY.
I do like these new mics. We can sound nice and.
You're right. Yeah.
You have a very good voice.
Thank you.
It's.
I want you to sing a little something. What is it? Oh, come!
It's a Sunday. You said your grandfather used to do like you have gospel, a little gospel hymn. You want to sing real quick?
Okay,
not today.
Not today. Julie's been trying to get me to sing on here too.
Can do like a duet.
I know she's setting me up for like duets with everyone. Our last guest.
I'll do the beat.
She's making her. She said you need to learn how to play the guitar and then come back and play a song.
You play instruments too?
Not enough to say that. I can play the guitar like here and there, like chords and a little bit. And I can
the last
play by
guest,
ear,
I gave her homework. I said, "You're going to learn something. You're going to come back on." How about you?
Me, I come back on. I'm gonna come in and sing though. I'll play some air guitar for you.
Air guitar.
Can you harmonize? If I sang lead, would you harmonize?
Yeah.
Okay, do it. All right.
No, not today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we gotta prep for that.
We have to prep. We're gonna bring Lindsay on with her guitar, and we'll be Deonte. We're gonna have a big band performance at the end of the year. All of our guests
in the vault.
We're gonna have them all in the vault, which, as you know,
are amazing.
It's about 10 by 5.
Yeah, this is cozy.
8 by 5, whatever.
Tiny desk concert.
Yeah, tiny desk. You ever watch those?
Yeah,
those are pretty cool.
Alicia Keys. I've seen a couple.
Yeah, I'll go on a little rabbit hole search with those and find a bunch, and I find a lot of artists.
Okay, I got you. I have to have you confess. Okay, so you love all kinds of music. I'm guessing, like your genre is pretty open.
Yeah, I listen to this.
So, what's your guilty pleasure? What's your genre
something that
you'd
someone
rather
wouldn't know that
you'd rather not not announce, but you know what I mean? Like it's not something that's a given. What would be your guilty genre?
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't know unless I tell them, but like, so Grease is one of my favorite movies. If not my favorite movie.
Okay.
So like,
I know unexpected.
I know all the songs.
Yeah,
okay. I used to watch Grease and could sing all of the songs. Like I still listen to Grease as the word.
No way.
Nice.
I just posted on one of my stories the other day. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't know what I was talking about. So I don't know what genre of music that is, but
yeah, that's like in the what would you say like 70s doing 50s music.
70s.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of older music too, because again, my grandfather was pretty much like my best friend.
Yeah,
growing up. So when he sang, like I'll turn on some Sam Cooke and I'll change.
Amazing!
I play that song 10, 15 times.
No way.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And what's your walk-up song for Julie?
Flashing Lights by Kanye West. Flashing Lights. Yeah, I'm a huge Kanye West fan.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, not because of his antics. I just like.
I know sometimes the antics, but the music, especially the earlier music, especially. I mean, that was genius. A lot of that stuff for sure.
I just like that he's not afraid to just speak what's on his mind.
He's got a lot of hype songs. I like that. I mean, that's gonna be. Part
I find with artists sometimes, it's like you have to respect some of their earlier stuff because eventually everyone goes crazy.
Yeah, right. Especially you get all that fame.
It's true. They lose their minds. All of them. Every single one.
Trying to compete with their old selves.
themselves.
Yep.
Right. Well, we appreciate you coming on, Deonte. Like we say to most of our guests, but we'd love to have you back on.
Absolutely.
100%. So
thanks for all the good work you do.
I'm glad you found some time to join with us, and
Absolutely.
Keep doing good out there.
Appreciate it.
We're so thankful that you're doing what you're doing. So keep doing it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. We'll be back. We talk about hypnotherapy often on this show. We talk about the benefits of it, ways to, can help you quit smoking, help you, quit eating junk food, help you come up with healthier life habits and things like that. So I know many people that have used Julie over the years, and, everyone that I've ever talked to that's used Julie, they have glowing reviews, and she's really helped them get through any issues they might have, and great things like that. So just wanted to tell you again, check out Julie Abel with hypnotherapy at Ascend Hypnotherapy at 1915 East 38th Street. Julie can be contacted at 814-323-4709. I cannot wait to collaborate with you in unlocking your potential and empowering you to attain goals, move past obstacles, and become the highest and best version of you. Remember, Ascend Wellness and Hypnotherapy.
Get ready for Tuesday, August 13th,
when Erie Gives will inspire you,
engage our nonprofits,
and empower our community.
And every gift receives a part of the bonus box.
Join us on Tuesday, August 13th at eriegives.org.
Welcome back into the vault. It's Sunday morning. You were listening to Deonte Cooley with Nick and Julie. We're playing. We have some new equipment today. And
you can see that Nick is really enjoying this.
I've really gotten into it. The radio voice. I did some radio in college, actually.
I did too. I did a night show. Yeah.
Did you?
But not for long. Just a couple. I was a sub for a couple of them.
Okay. Yeah. I did Tuesday and Thursday nights, like 8 to 10 or something like that. I would make up a top 10 every week that I made up.
Nick has done so much. I want to just give a shout out to Nick as far as what he's been doing behind the scenes. He spends hours upon hours just like tightening this show up. He does the editing. You could see the quality from the beginning to the end.
Thank you.
Some of it was funny. I feel like I have to get Coach D back because it was such a terrible angle.
That was not even.
And he's so entertaining.
Yeah.
But the thing is you've added so much quality and respectability.
To go from where we were with the Nick DeSantis episode,
getting all this equipment.
We had the camera up in the corner, like it was on top of us. Like we didn't even have like a mic that was working. It was. But
I just wanted to give a shout out to you because you've done so many quality things for this show, and on top of it, we were just talking about how you walk into this place and it was not the best vibrational energy just because it's a bank and people were hiding things in lock boxes and things like that. Now we've gotten so many good people who are sharing their stories of inspiration, and we're sharing it with everybody else. And you're doing such a quality job with this. I feel like we've changed the energy to positive, creative, and just exceptional energy.
Thank you. Thank you. I know that we definitely have kind of created a better vibe.
Absolutely.
You look at the beginning, but I think a lot of it is that we've gotten more comfortable with our craft, and on this.
Well, when we've tightened up what we're doing, we're not just promoting what we do for a living. We're also sharing everybody's community stories for this community. It's not like we're like, this is it's not just what they do. What was the quote I just put on Facebook? It's not the light that shines on them as much as it is the light that shines within them.
Sure. Yeah.
And even though we find them because the light's shining on them, that's how we notice them.
Right.
We get them in here and we find out why the light's shining on them. It's because of what's shining from within. And I really feel like that's the reason. That's the true reason we're supposed to be doing this.
No, I agree. I think that when we first started, we didn't really know exactly what we were going to do going into it, but we very quickly found a sort of a method and a journey that we wanted to go on. We wanted to share, and it kind of hit us over the head, and I kind of figured that would happen.
The inspiration's working for me too. Yeah. Like your energy is contagious. And today I'm fully going to out myself. I was late by almost an hour.
Were you? I didn't even notice.
Nick calls me. Okay. Just to tell you this quick thing. I have to confess. Nick calls me and I'm sitting here enjoying my coffee in my J cup. Thanks, Mary Butler. But I'm sitting there having my coffee this morning in my pajamas,
Mary Butler.
wondering what the actual hell how I was going to actually pay for a broken clothes washer. I was like, my daughter came home from a week and a half of being on vacation with a friend. That was amazing. But she gets home. I was happy to see her. I made her dinner at 10:30 at night. Then my son found out that the washer is no longer working.
Oh no. Yeah.
My washer is no longer working. I'm sitting here trying to figure out how I'm going to handle that. Nick calls and says, "Are you coming?" And I'm like, "To what?" And then he reminded me that we had an episode to
Like
shoot today.
we're doing an episode today.
I felt
We got
so
our guests
bad.
waiting here.
But see, so I was not in this frame of mind. I was in a negative place because I was worrying about everything. And then I get here and the vibrational energy that we are experiencing, every one of these people are so inspirational. You inspire me. These people inspire me. And just knowing that what we're doing is going to be inspirational to somebody. At least that's what the feedback was for me.
Yeah.
People tell me they're inspired by these stories.
No, and I that's what it is
Yeah.
and really the people kind of drive the episodes. We don't know exactly where we're going to go. We don't have a script. We pick people that we think are going to be a good guest and they're going to be, good people to talk to. And they are because we really, we kind of know what we're getting into. And there's a reason that we pick those people. So if we pick you, I mean, there's a reason, because we know that you're going to be able to share something out there that that's valuable to not only the community but to us as well. And I think that that's really cool. So I think that both of us have found a way to adapt to each other. And we found things that sort of work with each other, and we find a good blend, a good balance and stuff like that. So
and I think that too, that we're promoting, when the people come on here, they're promoting their business. Usually they're promoting what they do. And I mean, it may come to the fact that we have to monetize or whatever, but honestly, who are we promoting? We're promoting people that are giving back.
Right.
And that to me is a fair trade.
And I feel like we're giving back then to have those people out there and share that. So, Deonte was no exception to that rule, and he definitely, when I saw us doing the show and we hit those first few people that were like those no-brainers that we knew, he was on that second tier of list, that I knew that he would be a good guest, and I really respect what he does out there. And he there are people like that those are the real like faces of Erie.
Exactly. I mean, he's got his boots to the ground, so to speak.
Right.
And he's helping people in higher education find their path in locally. And meanwhile, locally, he's bringing in good, educated, solid people to stay. And we need our think tank to stay in Erie. We don't want the mad rush south or west. We want our people who have experienced Erie for 4 years is long enough to see what awesome stuff it has to offer.
Right. Yeah, hopefully some of those people stay. Absolutely,
these kids,
100%.
I say kids because they're college students,
They're
but
technically adults.
They just got educated. Why would we try to let that go?
Right.
So good on him on all of that. Plus, he's paying back to what he's learned is this goodness from his
now
life.
he works at university. He's able to give that education to his children. He has a lot, and he's excited
he's happy and he's
that.
proud about them. They range from age 14 to 18.
4 to 8.
Oh, excuse me. You're correct. That's 4 to 8.
That's crazy.
He's not walking around like I've got 2. They keep me hopping.
Or 4 to 18. So I said 4 to 8 then. You were like 14 to 18, and then I'm like 4 to 8.
It's 4
to 18. Yeah, 4 to 18.
And so, and he doesn't look crazy. He's also a realtor. He also has a full-time job. So like he's got his work cut out for him, but yet he's still compassionate and passionate about what life has to offer. So
he is. And those are the kind of people that we like to pump up, so here we are, and I like doing these Sunday morning interviews sometimes too. And we do a blend. If you don't know, we typically either record on Sunday mornings or like Monday evenings. and it is a different vibe
Mm-hmm.
too. Sunday mornings people are a little more relaxed. They haven't worked. They probably slept a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. Whereas
Well,
when
I
you
want
meet
you to,
people at night,
and I want you to be
they just had a
aware,
work day.
like this place is hopping. We're doing this vault thing on a Sunday.
Yeah.
We're doing our vault vibes on a Sunday. We also have
we just had another person commit to coming on the show. Look at that.
Excellent. See that?
Yep.
And then we have a coffee hut outside that Sonny Cummins is working on, and these guys, like, he has a brewmaster, a coffee brewmaster.
Literal. There's like a tank of coffee.
Yeah, walking around. They gave me a sample of it. It's delicious. Yeah. So he's gonna have coffee coming in the mornings real soon here. I'm super stoked. And on top of that, we've got a yoga group that just left because they were down there this morning, and now we have vault vibes going on.
It's really cool coming up here. When I first started coming here, if I was the first one here for our group, it was locked and nobody was in the parking lot. But like the last few times I've come, there's multiple cars here and things like that. So it really is cool, and it's all because of us.
We've got consigliere. Yes. Well, it's because of
we put the good vibes out.
Yeah. Well, it's not all.
If I learned anything from Deonte today, it was like, share your goodness and don't be humble. Right? So.
No, what he's saying is humility.
I know what he means.
Humility is not necessarily being quiet or not toting or touting what you do. It's
basically saying the good people should be loud too, because the bad people are gonna be out there as well.
Yeah, like you're in competition.
Right.
And so why don't you carry your goodness in competition? Why don't
you
carry
the good and bad?
Correct.
And then just any of our realtor friends out there, NAR stuff is happening August 1st. It's this episode's running a couple days after August 1st, so stay strong out there. It's a change. But
honestly, it's not much of a change. So let's be honest.
It's not a huge change.
It's not really much of a change. I mean, it's just that
a lot of people are nervous.
But see, agents have been accountable for the same thing that is now feeling like a change. Just disclose, know that everything's negotiable. That's the nature of our business, and there's nothing to be afraid of here. It's business as usual, but you're now going to be more aware of how you approach the sale.
Before people just said, I don't get paid until your house closes. Well, you still don't really get paid until the house closes. It's just now you have to put on paper how much you're going to get paid. And, and that's the only difference, but it's a service rendered,
yes. And those agency contracts have not really changed.
Pennsylvania always had and even the Ybor area in Erie, has done it right for a long time.
Agents now just have to sit down and go over that agency contract like they should have done anyway. And I myself, hey, and the way it was explained to me when I first learned is just basically, as long as you find this person a house, then the agency has already been established. But no, there's verbiage in that contract that still needs to be verbalized. You still need to talk to each other about what everything says and what you're signing on for. That's where people have dropped the ball. And honestly, it's not that big of a change. You're just explaining everything better. And
though I think that things will settle after a while. I think that everyone will kind of hit a stride where the area, will do a certain thing. Sellers have always paid a commission, and I don't think that that's going to change a whole lot. There's a little more negotiation now because of that, but I think that as we've talked about before, Erie is a town that's slow to change with like new and crazy things, obviously. And I don't think things will change a whole lot.
Well, it's not that new. I mean, this rule is the same. We just didn't give it a lot of credibility because business as usual. I will tell you, it'll be business as usual. And people will buy and sell it at commission rates.
But just to reiterate from the finance side, that you can get the seller. So the seller can pay the buyer's agent commission if you negotiate that in. So if the seller's only paying, say the seller's paying a flat fee of like $5,000, and the buyer's agent you've negotiated to make 3% or whatever in that difference, you can get them the seller in your contract as long as you write that up for the seller to pay that, that can be kind of considered like a seller contribution.
Well, that's
like
the
a
way it
seller's
always should have
assistance.
been.
Right.
Everybody should have understood where their money is going for commission. Everyone should understand that.
Right.
It should have never been.
It's just more transparent now. That's all.
Well, it should have never been considered as something that is non-negotiable. It always was negotiable.
Right.
Always was negotiable. And when you present it as something non-negotiable, that's where the problem was. Is I didn't think I had a choice. Well,
right.
Every seller has a choice.
Right.
Every seller has a choice. And agents just were like, not that the agents did anything wrong. It's just that, okay, this is the way it's usually done. So we're going to do it this way.
It's more upfront now. Right. It's just more out in the open.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, with us, I'm playing with your cord.
Okay, look it. This is where we draw the line. Nobody touches my cord.
I know.
Okay.
Are
we clear?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Clear. So if you found, like, if you're out there and you think that, the buyers maybe have to take on a little more fee and they're not, whatever, there are ways to work on that. And that's all I'm here. I'm always here to calm people down and let people know that that we can deal with this. So it's not that scary.
It's not scary at all if you're doing it the way that you're supposed to be doing it.
There are programs that have lower down payments. There are grants. There are assistant programs. So yeah, we can work with it. So,
ooh, hello.
Ooh, hello. So thanks for joining us on the first 2 hours of the episode. Join us next for the next 2 hours.
So distracted.
Drive you home this Thursday night.